Good morning. I hope everyone's having a good day. It's 5:30 in the morning in South Carolina. So today in this video, I want to talk about worm tracks. I didn't start having problems with worm tracks until I started welding down here in South Carolina. I'm going to explain what causes worm tracks and how to deal with them. So, when you're welding, like I noticed when I started welding down here, down south, because of the humidity and the moisture in there are times where when I'm doing flux wire or dual shield, I'll be welding and then all of a sudden I get these huge craters, these huge worm tracks in my weld. And the cause of that is it's the moisture in the air. You'll be surprised, like when I'll go to work in the morning and I'll go to work and I'll go to like something I'm working on, I'll go to a piece of metal. You can see the moisture on the metal. Like if you took a torch and heat it up, if you took a torch and heat up the metal, like, just take a rosebud and run it across the metal, you can see the moisture like span off of the metal. So the problem is that flux wire, it absorbs all that moisture. And I remember when I first got down here and I was welding, like on days that it would rain, and like I'm inside most of the time at my 9 to 5 job, and like I would just get constant worm tracks. So I'm gonna give some tips and tricks that I found out that work. Number one, like if you're welding, when you first show up to your job, or if you're welding outside, this applies to anyone, like even if you're like a welding hobbyist, the first thing you want to do is you want to you want to run about like 10 feet of wire, flux wire, before you even start welding. That will get all the stuff out, or that will get out like the wire that has the most moisture, the wire that's in the lead, or the wire that's on the top layer, the top layer of the roll. You run that through, run about like 10 foot of it, and then you should be good. Now, if that doesn't work, there's a lot of times, like I've done that. I did a bunch of different tips and tricks. I tried turning up the voltage on my machine, to make it more hotter, to try to burn out that moisture, and it still didn't work. So if that doesn't work, sometimes the wire is just bad. Like, especially if you have like flux wire and it's been sitting outside, or sitting outside, or being exposed to moisture for hours on end. If you try all that stuff like turning up the voltage, or letting out about good 10 or 15 feet of the top layer of wire that's on the roll, and that doesn't work, and you're still getting gross, huge worm tracks, then you might need to just get rid of the wire. Another thing that helps too, say you're welding and you get light worm tracks, like worm tracks that don't have like huge craters or huge holes, like it's just like the top layer of the weld is exposed to a worm track. You can always take one of those needle guns and beat it out. I do that too, that works. But when it comes to like those deep worm tracks, if you got one of those in your weld, you're gonna have to grind that out. There's no way around that. So I hope this helps you guys out. Once again, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to contact me at any time. I post these videos to help anyone out. That's the whole purpose of these videos, because there's times like I wish I knew this information for myself, and I couldn't find anything concerning that information. So now it's like when I come across information like this from experience, I want to share it with others, so it'll help you guys out. That's the whole purpose of these videos.